Welcome back, everyone. My name is Eltimar, and we're going to be continuing our Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Where we left off last time, we just arrived back in Dresden. That's our evil group. Unfortunately, we can't sell things. You'll see why in but a moment. I went in and I was like, oh, well, this could put a damper in our plans. This is a very long loading screen. There we go. Alright. We're back in Drezen. And we've come in a storm of bugs following us. The gates of Dresden are wide open, and the army that came back from Eyes is standing before you. Hundreds of eyes are watching your triumphant return to your city. The cultists erupt in a discordant hymn praising your name. The streets behind them are almost empty. There are only insects where townsfolk used to be. All of Dresden is abuzz with the droning of the swarm. The Crusaders and Mendev watch you with fear and hatred, muttering through clenched teeth.
Welcome back, Commander. We heard the news. I can't believe Her Majesty's gone.
Anevia finds it difficult to speak. Her pale face is devoid of emotion. She moves and talks like a clockwork automaton and not a person. She's already heard about Irbeth's demise.
But that's just the latest name in the long, long list of your victims. This ain't a crusade anymore. It's senseless slaughter. The Knights of Mendev put up with you on the Queen's orders, but that's all over now. They're going back to Mendev to strengthen its borders, and I'm leaving with them.
Anevia looks at you with bitterness in her eyes. Nobody leaves this place. The swarm never lets food go to waste. The droning song of the swarm, previously humming in the background, rises to a deafening shriek. The insects soar into the air above and descend upon the Mendevians. The enchantress raises her hands, fire starts flickering in her palms, but her fingers are reduced to bones even before she can finish the first syllable of the spell.
Beth, I am coming to you.
Now the Mendevian crusade is truly over. The queen is dead, and so are her knights. Only the swarm remains, immortal, immutable, triumphant. Time seems to stand still in the square. The cultists fall silent and watch with bated breath. The incessant buzzing of insects dies down. You realize that every eye is fixed upon you. Dresden is the lair. There is my lair, the nest of my swarm. Those who encroach upon it will become food for my swarm. Nest of the Overlord, our nest. Those who encroach will become food for the swarm. The cultists shake their fists as they repeat your words. The insects join in with a high-pitched whine. The similar one thinks he has a separate future away from my swarm. How brave, I suppose, or I prove. But truth cannot be changed. For the similar one in all mortals, there is no future beyond Daskari. Daskari, the pathetic carrion eater, dares to threaten me, after I defeated and humiliated him in Eyes. It's funny, is it not? The cultists immediately burst into fits of barking, gut-wrenching laughter. Their cackling is followed by the incessant buzzing of insects. Once a similar one becomes Daskari's slave, he will pay for this insult with suffering beyond imagining. The last words and curses of the Demon Lord merge into a barely discernible rasping. Daskari is used to having the last word, but this time he has nothing to say to you. His voice is soon lost among the belligerent shouts of the crowd and the buzzing of your swarm. The storyteller appears behind you as if from nowhere. By some miracle, the blind elf survived the massacre. It's almost as if he has neither taste nor scent. Your insects uninterestedly pass him by. Such is the final act of the great tragedy. The goddess's knights fought against armies of demons in bloody fields, but in the end, both fell to an onslaught of countless tiny teeth. Woe to the defeated, glory to the conquerors. The walls of proud Dresden could not save it from the exaltation of the swarm. And so the swarm will own this place. Who dares to doubt the rightness of this grim outcome? Apparently we're on our last quest. The last steps, it's called. We've entered our throne room. My lord, the dark-robed cultist bows obsequiously. How lovely you are, how powerful. Our mentor Xanther the Plagued One could never have imagined the magnificence you've achieved. Xanther Vang, the embodied paradox of a mortal mind. How powerful he was, and how limited his ambition. He transformed his body into the swarm, and then locked himself in his laboratory, unable to even think about expanding his body beyond its stifling walls. His mortal mind was his prison, and the smarter he became, the stronger the prison became. Who are you? We are apprentices of Zenthir the Plagued One, the ones who survived when you destroyed the Ivory Sanctum. How skillfully you defeated our mentor. There's much we can learn from you. How can you help me? Zenthir the Plagued One taught us many powerful spells that will kill your enemies like flies. Let us join your army and watch you and your beautiful swarm, and we will unleash this magic upon your enemies. Had the mortals dared to bargain with the Skari, he would have devoured them on the spot. What use are servants who imagine they can have their own interests? We can get 500 cultists of the swarm and 400 cultist mages, or we can just get a bunch more swarm things. Zenthir gave you power, it will be mine. A wise decision. No matter what magic these noisy beggars may possess, the benefit does not outweigh the need to endure the ridiculous antics. The best thing I can do for the swarm is defeat it. What? No, master, please don't! The cultists attempt to flee, but don't make it more than a couple steps. I need more bugs. Hey, we can manage Crusade. We can't manage Crusade affairs. We have nothing left to do here. We do have guards still, which is... I find that weird. Why would we need guards? We literally have thousands upon thousands of bugs guarding the streets. I'm gonna go see if there's still... Oh, there is still stores. Maybe. Wait, what's all this stuff? Oh, it's all the Crusaders' bodies. Okay. Does Nevia have loot? She does. We can't identify any of it, but it exists nonetheless. Now we get to see if anyone's left alive. Is the storyteller here? Yes, okay, good. We can at least give him the elven pages. Dorglinda Stranglehold? Why is the... why do we still have our emissaries from Mendev? That doesn't make any sense. Also, this is a true nightmare fuel of random items now. Like, it's really bad. I'm gonna go through my inventory after we deal with the storyteller. We'll give him his elven pages. I think we have enough to do the next and probably final part of the story. Unless he doesn't have anything else to say. Oh yeah, it does. I bring word for your friend, or from your friend Kinney. His soul was being held by Arashkagal all these millennia, but help break him free. He asked me to tell you that the warm spice wine you two shared in the tower was the best wine he drank in his life. Kinney, my friend, after all this time, I never expected to hear your name, to hear word from you. I didn't think that this would still matter to me after so many years, and yet I'm glad, touched, saddened? I cannot make sense of what I'm feeling. You remember the wine? We oftentimes sat there on the tower's balcony. He lets out a sigh, then smiles. I apologize, I'm not willing to continue this discussion. This is too personal, but I thank you for helping Kinney find peace. Can we make the helmet? Oh, there's a mask, okay. The storyteller touches the mask of the most worthy and raises his eyebrows. This mask, this item, I feel particular kinship with it, as if it calls to me. Remarkable. Shall we? Let's show the mask of the most worthy. See if you can find out anything about this mask. The storyteller touches the mask reluctantly, and his eyebrows immediately shoot up. I see darkness, cold, endless, hiding numerous secrets. I feel someone's presence in this darkness. Someone is waiting for me there, and this mask is a torch designed to pierce the darkness and reveal age-old secrets. Just put it on, and... The elf brings the mask to his face, but suddenly stops, and still I sense deceit. It's as if by agreeing to wear the mask, I will learn much, but I will lose just as much. We still don't have enough to make the mangled helmet, but that's fine. Alright, pages. The storyteller clenches the pages you brought. His voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. I'm sitting at the top of my tower. In my right hand is a goblet of warmed wine. In my left, a bark-covered notebook. I breathe in the ash floating in the air. The wine leaves a bitter taste of soot on my lips. It's been about 100 years since I returned to Golarion from the Abyss. 100 years spent on research, hard work, and rare journeys. I turn the page of the notebook. The wisdom of elves and the cunning of Demon Lord Baphomet are gathered here. There's a description of how the purple crystal from Elutionera works, and my own observations about Riftcarver, Demon Lord Discari's scythe. I know everything written in it by heart, but I keep paging through it all the same. Touching these pages makes me hopeful and strengthens my resolve. I've gathered everything I need to connect Golarion with another plane. I'm close to saving the smoldering embers of Golarion, hiding them from Earthfall just a little bit more. A decade or 100 years, and everything will be ready for the ritual. A cold shiver runs down my spine, and I smile. Kinney's trying to get into my tower again. A world of ruins presents many opportunities for a thief. Forgotten ancient treasures left by their owners are there for the taking. These objects are not so precious nowadays, but they can fetch a good price on other planes. However, my friend stubbornly continues to try and evade the protective traps of my tower. He got caught. Predictable. The tree guards safely entangled Kinney in their branches. You got to the 3rd floor of the tower today. Nice try. I smile, sip my wine, and turn the page in the notebook. My friend will have to wait a little while before he's released. I'll finish my wine first. Why does Kenny try to get to your tower? The storyteller frowns and shrugs. All this started with an innocent joke when I boasted to him that my tower was now the safest place on Golarion, and he decided to prove me wrong. It's been 20 years since then, and it's becoming a long-running joke. Once every few years, Kenny tries to get into my tower secretly and steal something from me. My precious book of research notes, or the heart of the tower, the purple crystal we got in Illusionera. I play along, truly happy every time my friend comes to visit, but deep down I start to worry. Tell me about Golarion after Earthfall, the storyteller gulps. It's frightening here. Many people have perished, cities have turned to ruin. The few who are still holding on fall deeper into degradation with each passing day, turning into barbarians or bandits. Not a week goes by without someone trying to attack my tower and rob me. But my spells are strong and my guards are impeccable. Hungry and crippled, the riffraff leave my tower in search of easier pickings. I watch them go and feel no mercy. They deserve their fate. They should have fought like me. But they chose the easier path of plunder. Please continue. Kenny takes the goblet from my hands, but is not in a rush to drink it. You would learn so much if you didn't sit here guarding your secrets, he says to me. I smile. Not every secret must belong to the world, my friend. Precious stones lose their shine when they pass through 100 hands. In the same way, knowledge is distorted and truth turns into tall tales. That's why I sit in my tower guarding what I have created, what I have obtained from others. My friend only shrugs and stops talking, dissatisfied with my answer. I start to think, when did Kenny and I drift apart? He blames me for dragging my feet. He says I should have opened a rift to the other planes as soon as I returned to Golarion, and now it's too late. The jewels of our civilization have already perished, and soon the rest will too. He thinks we've lost, and now my research is simply dangerous. But I don't answer his reproaches, for they are somewhat fair. I could have tried to save Golarion 100 years ago, when Nocticula, my former lady in shadow, upheld her part of the bargain and decrypted Baphomet's notes. But instead of fulfilling the goal I set for myself, I decided to spend a little more time on research and preparation. It will take a year, I told Kenny back then, but after a year I needed 2 more, and then 10 more. The world was falling apart around me, and still I lingered. The storyteller frowns. Still, why are you taking so long to connect the planes? I don't know. My actions are unclear even to myself. I seem to have burned out. I look at people surviving a Golarion and realize I don't want to save them anymore. Who needs a handful of rabble who have already forgotten how to write, who get by with a vocabulary of 30 words? I still haven't abandoned my idea. Oh no. I will see it through sooner or later. It's my life's work. I just can't abandon it. But not now. Why is Kenny so against opening the portal now? My friend thinks it's too late, that my experiment in merging the planes will be dangerous for the entire universe. Who knows what consequence the merging will have on the plane I choose? What will happen if I merge Golarion with Heaven, and Earthfall happens to it too? Before, when Golarian civilizations were still fighting, together we could have overcome, surmounted Earthfall's consequences, but now there's no doubt that only war and death await us after we merge planes. Kenny always supported you before. What changed? I've thought about it many times. Over the years he spent in Golarion, my friend gradually lost the fire in his eyes. His opinions became more and more careful. He stopped rushing into any adventure life offered him. The storyteller says he got old. We both understood that his life as a half-elf is almost over, and I still have several hundred years to live. We realize that soon we must part forever. This thought keeps us from talking like we used to, and making plans for the future. Kenny seems distant. The terrible thing is, I don't feel sad. I accept that our parting is a given. I condemn myself for this, but I can do nothing about it. Kenny will leave me, and I will drink a goblet of warmed wine to remember him, and then I'll return to the laboratory to continue my research. My friend has become a stranger to me. The storyteller is silent for a long time, subdued in his thoughts. Please continue. It happened, what I had been expecting for the last 10 years, what I was ready for. Kenny, my friend, took advantage of my hospitality and stole my research notes. They contain knowledge I gathered over the years from those dangerous sources, and I have only partially deciphered them. Some of that knowledge will now be lost forever. He didn't even leave a goodbye note, he just left, never to return. I'm standing at the top of the tower with a goblet in my hand. There's no anger, no sadness in my soul, just doomed emptiness and fatigue. I bring my lips to the wine, but taste nothing. We go our separate ways from here. My former friend. I used to adore our friendship, looking for approval in your eyes, but now it has become a burden. It dried out like a shriveled orange peel. I inhale deeply, filling my lungs, and toss the wine from the goblet. Entering the laboratory, I open a secret door and take out the real notes, not the skillfully crafted decoy I put for Kenny. I will finish my life's work and merge the planes, even if there's no longer any point. Can't do otherwise. Damn. I feel exhausted suddenly, like I'm feeling the entire weight of all the years I've lived, but this is not the end of my story. I know there are secrets in my past that we are yet to uncover. Thank you for your stories. Do we have more pages? We do. Everything is ready for the merging of the planes. Baphomet's runes are drawn on the floor of the laboratory. The purple flame of the heart of the tower, this is what I call a crystal now, it's pulsating under the influence of secret spells. If I stop to think about it, the pulsating flames echo the beating of my heart. But I don't want to think. It took me too long to decide. If I think for just a moment, I might stop. I chose the Abyss as the plane to merge with Galarian. This is the last gift to my former friend, who was concerned about the imminent destruction of the plane, whose fate I will tie to the dying Galarian. Truth be told, I'm not completely sure I'll succeed. This is another reason to choose the Abyss. Hardly anyone will grieve if it suddenly shares the Galarian's fate. Acrid smoke of burning chemicals stings my nose. My eyes are watering. I haven't rested for several days. I take a step back and almost trip over an empty wine bottle. I came to the end of my supplies days ago, but regardless, my mind is clear and my thoughts are sharp. I stare into the heart of the tower and whisper a magic command. Time to begin. How long has it been since you saw your friend? The storyteller waves you off. A year? 2? Maybe 10? I didn't keep track. And what does it matter now? I spent that time working. I checked and double-checked every line of the spells, every symbol. I'm almost sure the merging will be a success. Do you know what happened to Kinney? He is no longer of any interest to me. The storyteller's voice is sharp and unpleasant. He is a traitor. He betrayed me in our dream. The storyteller is silent for a while, moving his lips without sound, but I still miss him. Sometimes. I miss the times when we were captivated by our idea and each other, when I enjoyed respect in Illusionera, when somebody needed my advice and service. Who would have thought that 17 years spent in the Abyss would be my most cherished memories? Symbol to symbol, word to word, gesture to gesture, the merging begins. I feel the wind of the Abyss on my face and smile. I can do it. I'll do something that nobody else has done before. I am the last great Archmage of Kionin. But now is not the time to relax. I must keep my mind away from idle thoughts. Thoughts are also important in my experiment. My lips read one spell, my hands weave another, and I say the third in my mind. I feel pain as if I'm being torn in half. My essence, my entire being, my identity is about to change, filled with the energies of the Abyss. I will stop being a Galarian. I will become a new creature, half elf, half demon, a stranger to both planes. The fabric of the world grows thin before my eyes. I see legions of demons gnawing at each other, ripping each other's throats. I see the minotaurs of the ivory labyrinth sitting around the fire, honing their giant axes. I inhale the forgotten smell of Illusionera's sewage. I hear the impertinent buzzing of locusts from the rasping rifts. I raise my hands to complete the merge and connect Galarian and the Abyss forever. As if on cue, demons, minotaurs, and even locusts turn to me. They freeze before the path opener. I hear Discari's whisper, sense Baphomet's loathsome grin. I feel Nocticula's curiosity and attention. The demons are ready to invite Galarian to torment and kill everything that didn't perish in Earthfall. They will degrade the remains of my world until nothing is left. Is that what I really want? My hand freezes. Do you want to stop the merging? I understand. All this time I was deceiving Kinney and myself. I never wanted to save Galarian. The perishing empires of my world are just empty words for me. I was not interested in the lives that would be lost. Life takes its course. People are born and die. Kingdoms rise and fall to ashes. And even gods have their final day. Those are the laws of the world, and it's not for me to oppose them. The storyteller doesn't seem to hear us. However, not a single life passes without a trace. Not a single people disappears completely. While the memory of them lives, while their culture, language, and art remain, civilization lives as well. I never wanted to save the people of Galarian. I only wanted a handful of survivors to keep the memory of Galarian alive. When the demons invade Galarian, they will destroy the very memory of it. They will burn whatever is not burned and desecrate what can't burn. Their invasion spells death for Galarian, and I almost destroyed something that must never perish. The purple flame of the heart of the tower burns my eyes. The storyteller gulps nervously. I carefully lower my hand, allowing the spells to disperse. The elf seems to have aged by a few hundred more years, his voice thinner. I almost destroyed Galarian. In my pride, I could have put an end to my world just to become the path opener, to prove my title of the last Archmage of Kionin. If only to myself. I don't know what to say in my defense. And that's it. That's his big story. He almost destroyed the world, but chose not to. I'm going to pause the video for just a second. I know we only have like 10 minutes left on it, but I'm going to do some selling and stuff. And just get rid of some of our items. Back shortly. Alrighty, we are approaching Threshold and the end of the Swarms game. Probably be done in a video or two, I'm guessing? I don't know exactly how long Threshold is, but I'm guessing this is the point of no return sort of situation. Stop. Eltimar, stop. Sela stands before you. She's wearing a new set of armor that's been polished to a shine and decorated with Iomede's sacred symbols. Do you even remember your name? Is there anything left of the person you once were? You've become very scary. But I know that somewhere inside, lost amidst all the flies, the real you still exists. Can you hear me? Please hear me. Please, she sobs piteously. Come back. I miss you so much. You betrayed everything, our hope, our loyalty, our crusade. You betrayed the whole world and all the mortals who put their trust in you. The cleric's voice rises with indignation. You are beyond forgiveness. I owe you my life. You saved me from the abyss, but that will not stop me from sending you there. I expected such an outcome. You'll all become part of the swarm. I will devour you and absorb your power. You're an abomination. I cannot believe I fought side by side with you to liberate Canaveris. Sela spits in disgust. We will destroy you, and if we perish, others will come to finish the job. You will not leave this place alive. Sela's eyes flash dangerously. I must warn you, your experience fighting alongside us will not give you an advantage. We've undergone special training. You've become a monster, and the angels of the goddess taught us how to destroy you. Blood. Have they now? That actually really hurt. They all have like holy shields on.
May I see your entrails, please?
Goodbye, Trevor.
May I see your entrails?
I can still fight.
Prayer is not going to help you. Heal might help you a little bit.
May I see your entrails?
It's over. Man, that holy aura actually did a lot of damage. I would like some of my loot back, thank you. It looks like you have different loot than last time. It is cool, however, how they send back our teammates to try and stop us. That was neat. Unfortunately, it didn't matter. All will become the swarm. Dumbly, though, the swarm stopped growing. We're at 13 size, right? And so, Eye of the Swarm, if we look at it here, where's Eye of the Swarm? Not prayer. Mythic Path, Eye of the Swarm. Your strength and dexterity increase by 4 plus your swarm size, right? That's what it says should happen. However, it seems to be capped at 10. Other, Eye of the Swarm, plus 10. That's not plus 17, which is what it should be. It's possible that 45 is the highest it can go.
Shall we move? We shall move.
But we can find that out for ourselves. 45 might actually be the highest it can be, which is a plus 17. But that doesn't make sense because then these are capped at 10 as well, so that doesn't, yeah, that doesn't make any sense because strength should be much higher then, it should be at plus 17. So it's broken. Or there's an unwritten scaling level on there that we can't go any higher than. Anyways, we've killed our former teammates. Time to leave. And we're going to enter Threshold, and then we're going to end the video. We're not going to go into the city yet itself. That'll be the next video, and possibly the one after, and then we'll be probably done this playthrough. The good playthrough is going to take a little while longer.
After breaking the blockade of the demon armies and defeating Discari, the Crusade forces close in on the Threshold Fortress. The place where 100 years ago, the first rift between the planes was opened. The place where this story will end.
Alright. They're coming. They're getting closer with the commander himself marching at the head. Let them come. It's been long since any brave wolves challenged me, the mighty Karamzadeh. I'll tear them to shreds along with their commander. Well, no you won't. But this is where we're going to end our video. In the next video, we're going to head in to the final act of the game. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, leave them below. Others, I'll see you all next time. Take care.